you believe in yourself and have dedication and pride and never quit, you'll be a winner. The price of victory is high, but so are the rewards. Namaste and welcome everyone to the special episode of Seedhi Baat. This is your host Lovepreet Kaur. I am especially elated and happy because we have a very special guest with us today. I am proud to introduce Ms. Priyal Kenny, who is an Indian shooter, an international athlete, Shiv Chhatrapati awardee. She is a chartered accountant and the founder of Play and Shine Foundation. Well, the list of her achievements is never ending, and I'm so happy that she's a down-to-earth and humble person who has accepted our request to feature in our podcast today. So fasten your seatbelts as she will be discussing her experience of becoming a women's sportsperson and how she became a chartered accountant along with balancing her sports career. She will be motivating all of us to take up sports as our future career and will be talking about the scope of sports for youth. She will be sharing her personal story and hence we all must be looking forward to it. They say every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. She's one of those. She is legit goals for all of us who think we cannot manage our sports with our studies or can manage two things at one time. She's the one who has managed to do so many things at one point of time. She's not just the pride of India, but she's also a star whom we all look up to. So without any further ado, I welcome Priyal on the podcast.
First of all, thank you for the brilliant introduction and a big shout out to the entire team of Seedhi Baat for having me here today. I'm so excited to be able to share my experience through this podcast.
Well, my first question is a curiosity question, which I think my entire team and all our listeners would want to know. If I'm not wrong, you are the first generation sportsperson in your family. How was your family's reaction when you chose sports as your future career? What did they say and did they support you or did not support you? That's what we want to know first.
So yes, coming to your first question, I am the first generation sports person from my family, and the decision to give shooting a more serious approach really happened around when I was in the 9th grade, 14 years old, which is the same time when most parents tell their children to just focus on academics, because you have the 10th grade and the 12th grade coming up in the next 2 to 3 months. You have all those entrance exams coming up that determine how you set off your career for the rest of your life. And especially given the fact that I had a very strong academic background, my parents had a lot of hopes and expectations from me as to what I will do after the 10th, what I'll do after the 12th, what career path do I choose. And at that point in my life, when I walked up to them, I told them that I'm crazily passionate about shooting and this is something I'll want to do. It was quite a not so happy surprise for them, but yes, they were really supportive. So given the fact none of them were sports persons, they started investigating more about the Sports Authority of India and how sports works in India, and what rifle shooting is more about and what options I can have ahead, and as a girl how and what are the prospects of breaking and making my space in a much male dominated sport. And most importantly, I would like to add here is the support I got from my mom, because even before I told dad, I had walked up to mom and I had this discussion with her about taking up shooting, and she was so supportive, even though given the fact that she's a homemaker herself, nor does she hold any advanced graduate degree. When I told her that I want to follow my calling for shooting, she just told me one thing. She's like, Priyal, just do what you feel right. Live in the moment. It's okay if you screw up. It's okay if this doesn't work out. None of that matters. The only thing that matters really in life is to keep moving and keep growing. So don't worry about anything else and just follow your passion. And I think those little words of assurance from her have been so important to me right from that day even till now. And I think that's been the most significant driving force in my life.
Thanks a lot for the beautiful answer, Priyal. We usually start unknown and finish unforgettable. That's the kind of journey which you have traced in the field of sports, and we are really proud of you. But I want to know from you, why did you choose shooting as the sport? What did you like so much about shooting that you had to choose this as your sports career? how difficult it is to play this sport. And just like you mentioned in your previous answer, shooting is a male dominated sport. How did you manage to make an identity in this kind of a sport? That's what we want to hear from you next.
So even though I took my grades very seriously and my academics were strong, I was not one of those typical students who would be glued to her books all the time. I literally took part in every extracurricular activity which my school had to offer. My mom really tried hard to make me fit into the shoes of Bharatanatyam and Kathak, but that simply never worked out. I was more inclined towards chess, basketball, throwball, and I was actively involved in these three sports, of course, before I stumbled upon shooting. The thing about shooting was I just found out there is a shooting club being run at school, and then I happened to visit the range. And the whole idea of being able to, use a gun, fire few bullets, and shoot the bullseye, I think that really caught my eye, and there was no looking back after that day. And coming to your point about taking up space and making your own identity in a much male dominated sport, so that was really not an issue for me. Once I started shooting, like I mentioned, I started shooting when I was 14, and I had a very steep progress. Within the first 6 months, I qualified for the state championships. From there on, I qualified for the national championships. And my first national championships at Kerala in 2009, I was representing Maharashtra. We have a three-member team, and the other two members of my team were Tejaswini Sawant and Anjali Bhagwat, who are literally the face of shooting in India. They are symbols of true women empowerment. I was born in 1994, and Anjali B and Tejaswini B have been shooting right from 1990. So yes, they have been using the rifle even 4 years before the day I was born. So having such strong ladies who are probably the pioneers of the women empowerment movement with respect to shooting in India had a huge role to play. So I never really felt that shooting in any way has been any kind of a male dominated sport, or there was any kind of gender disparity. In fact, training with them or just being around them, competing by their side, rubbing shoulders with them has really brushed off so much of good on me.
It's beautiful how we all have different definitions of women empowerment, feminism, and how to raise the status of women in the society. But you are doing it in a very unique way, and I'm really proud of being a part of the community that you are representing at an international level. Well, women empowerment is all about motivating the other females to do something good, to make a mark at a global level. And she and the other shooters, female shooters, are definitely doing a great job. I salute them for representing the community of which I'm a part of. Really feel proud of all of you. This brings me to my next question. As you said, you were a good student. I mean, not the one who always was glued to the books. I want to know from you, how did you manage your studies and your sports career? Because it's usually hard for children to manage both of these things at the age of 14. It's probably because all of us, even now we are 20, 21 years old, we are still confused about our lives. We find it hard to multitask a few things. And that's a problem which I feel most of the youth is facing right now. So, how did you manage the time? How did you manage your career? You are a successful chartered accountant as well, which is something which was mind blowing for me to see that a sports star is also a chartered accountant and she's also running an NGO. So, tell me the secret behind your success in time management.
So honestly, there isn't any great rocket science or secret formula behind this. I think it's very important to be sincere and true to yourself. So if you set yourself some goals, you have certain aspirations, or you see yourself somewhere in the next 5 years, things that you do today and the kind of people you surround with are going to play a very pivotal role in deciding whether you're headed in the right direction and whether you will really get to your goals. So, yes, for me, time management skills and most importantly, a lot of discipline has always worked. And secondly, as I mentioned, it was my decision to pursue sports without giving up on my academics. So, there are undoubtedly a lot of sacrifices involved in the process. There are a lot of plans with friends I've had to cancel, family trips that got called off last minute, and most importantly, I never had a normal college life because my college was back in Mumbai and all my shooting camps were based out of Delhi. So I was constantly shuttling between both the cities, and when that was not happening, I was probably in some part of the world competing at some international tournament and representing the country. So that's the price I paid. Like most college students go to college, they have a campus life, they bunk lectures, they take part in college activities and festivals, but that never happened with me. Those 4 years, I was really working hard day in and day out. I used to carry my books along with me to the matches, but there wasn't a single day I ever felt that this is too heavy a price to pay, or I was really very stressed out because I was honestly enjoying every minute of whatever I was doing, and that is something I wanted to do for myself, and I had signed up for it. So I think it's really important that whatever you're doing, you have a true passion for it, you have a true interest for it.
I'm literally spellbound right now, and I cannot explain the excitement of talking to you. Your journey as a struggler doesn't even sound like it was a journey of a struggler. It sounds like a journey where you were enjoying the path, you were accomplishing your dreams, you were taking up all the challenges with utmost positivity, and you were giving your best, doing your work elegantly and so perfectly. I mean, I cannot imagine what the phase would be like, but I can pretty much see a winner in you since the time you started your journey as a shooter. They say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and I think you did not miss any one of them. You balanced your academics, your sports, your family, your personal life so beautifully, and I think you really deserve a kudos and congratulations for all that you have done in your life, and for the every single time you represented India globally. You deserve congratulations for that. Well, now I take a moment and introduce my co-moderator, Ms. Simarpreet Kaur, who is also very, very keen and interested in asking you a few questions. Simar, you're welcome, and over to you for the next question.
Sabri, for giving me this opportunity. So I would like to tell about some famous brands like Adidas, which says impossible is nothing. Nike says about being legendary. Puma says forever is faster. And Priyal stands for fly high with passion. So Priyal, today I would like to ask you like how was your experience when you moved away from your family, and how could this experience of yours inspire our youth and the upcoming generation?
Well, thanks, Samarpreet, for this wonderful question. And I'm so glad you brought this up because the answer to this is something really personal to me, which I would love to share. So, till the time I was 14, there wasn't a single day I had stayed away from home. My dad's job commitments involved a lot of traveling, so many a times I wouldn't see him for weeks altogether. But mom was literally always around. So when shooting kicked in and I had to move away from home for my first shooting camp, that's when the entire realization dawned upon me of what it is to stay away from her and to be on my own and be independent. And most importantly, right from lower KG in school, I had a very closed friend circle. There was a limited group of people I used to hang out with who were, my people or my gang. And then suddenly it was moving away from home altogether with getting used to new people around me who I hadn't met before or who hailed from places that I hadn't heard of, and that entire experience was so transformational. They say sports build character, and that literally happened in this phase of moving away from home, of getting to know these new people, sharing physical space with them, going from strangers to teammates to best of friends. And I think the memories that I built back then is something I'll really cherish for the rest of my life.
Great to see how you manage the transformations well and connected with people of different backgrounds. It is well said that when you connect with people, you grow more and we grow together. So that's what you exactly did, and it's very great to see that.
That was very well put, Priyal. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. The greatest achievers are the ones who merrily keep jumping from one target to another. They have fun, they accept challenges, they motivate others, they fight, and they rock. And I strongly believe that this phase where we separate from our families to pursue our careers is very common in all of us. At some point of time in life, we do become independent and start taking our own decisions. And that's what most of the youth leaders who have featured in our podcast till date have talked about. The All the top achievers I have known throughout my life, they are always looking for new skills, new insights, and ideas. See, if they're not learning, they are not growing and not moving towards excellence. So I really think that all of us need to learn from the experience of these youth leaders as to how they used that journey of separating from their families to become better people. I want to know from you, Priyal, how sports has shaped your character and made you a mentally stronger person.
So, shooting is 90% of our mental game. Even in the shooting camps that we have for the Indian shooting team, we have dedicated time slots for yoga, pranayam, meditation, and other mental exercises because as a shooter, one needs to have immense emotional and mental control. So, even on a personal note, these daily mental exercises have become an integral part of my life because of which I have been able to really enhance my concentration skills and develop an immense emotional control. I do not readily react to things and I've really learned to compartmentalize my thoughts, which has really helped me on a personal level in a great way.
Thank you for the wonderful answer, Priyal, and I really hope that your answer is able to inspire the youth listening to you right now. They say arriving at one goal is the starting point to another. This makes me wonder what was the motivation behind starting the Play and Shine Foundation? Was it the commitment to give back to the sports community? And how do you feel you can change the future of sports by this foundation? Not to forget that my co moderator Simmer is also a volunteer with this NGO, so we should be hearing about this one very carefully.
So, this is undoubtedly going to be my most favorite answer for today's podcast. I was involved in a lot of social work back in school. In fact, very ironically, my first fundraiser was as a 10-year-old child when I had raised money for other school going children from underprivileged backgrounds through child rights and youth. And I was even involved with the Help Age India and the leprosy mission. But when shooting took over, all this went into the background. So when I completed my chartered accountancy, I was looking for ways in which I could go back to serve the society. And I really wanted to, in some way, homogenize my passion for sports and deep commitment to give back to the society. And well, that's exactly how the Play and Shine Foundation was born. Having spent more than 10 years in the sports arena, I had figured out that sports can be a very flexible and cohesive tool to bring people together from diverse backgrounds, and that's exactly what we do here. We bring people together in a way they can positively impact each other's lives. Sports has been a very transformational experience for me, and it hurts me that still in India only 30% of women participate in sports and a lot of other individuals still do not have access to the right infrastructure and the opportunities, and we are here to provide them any kind of mentorship, guidance, and access to equal opportunity in sports.
You are absolutely right, and I agree with you when you say that students and youth, especially, is not very connected to sports these days. I don't know why they are not seeing it as a career option. If it's because of unawareness or maybe the lack of infrastructure slash equipment slash support, you know that better because you are a specialist. But definitely, we need something, some sort of a startup which attracts them towards sports. I think government has been doing a lot from their sides to attract people and to aware people about how the future is bright in sports. But I think you are also doing a great job. It's commendable that you are able to provide the right kind of mentoring and infrastructure to the people who are really passionate about sports. Good job.
Seen that, like, do you know the favorite part of a game? It's the opportunity to play. So Priyal, so I would like to ask you that we have seen that, I would like to know how would you be able to bridge the gap in sports as a career, like for the youth who are not still motivated to take a career in sports, and for those who are willing to take a career in sports, what are the steps and they should follow to have a good career in sports? And I would like to hear about it from you.
So, two reasons why individuals really hesitate to make a career in sports is number one, because they are not aware of the available opportunities, and number two is because they do not get that kind of support or backing from their family. So, keeping this in mind, we've launched two flagship programs known as Sports Mentorship and Community Connections, along with Sports Parenting. So, what we do under sports mentorship is we provide mentorship to any individuals who are setting out and aspire to make a career in sports. We assign to you a mentor and we help you with the relevant community connections so you can get in touch with the right people at the right time and progress ahead in your career. And secondly, we actively conduct a lot of sports parenting workshops because we feel a child is only successful only and only if the parents provide him the kind of support and backing that is needed. So, in these sports parenting workshops, we really help parents navigate through what it is to parent a child who's a sports person, what to talk to him, what not to talk to him, and these little things of motivation that you can do to make sure that he's always encouraged and dedicated towards what he's doing.
Important and seen that sports is responsible for the holistic development of both the children and the youth, and it's very great to see that these great initiatives have been taken up to help improve on in sports. And the mentoring thing, I would like to talk about thing, the medicore mentor tells, the good mentor explains, the super mentor demonstrates, and the great mentor inspires. And in this way, I believe the mentorship program is would surely inspire the many children who are to take up sports and self themselves in different kind of sports arena. And it's you just rightly said that the little things make a impact. We never know, the little initiatives taken by you today would help and inspire someone to take up a sport, and the next that person may able to represent our country, because we know that there are many people who are in lack of opportunities and awareness, and we need these kind of initiatives taken by you, so as we can find the great talents and the hidden talents. So the little things will help us to make an impact in the life of people who need to bloom out and be successful.
While the entire podcast has been so inspirational, it's almost like that piece of motivation or advice or positivity which one can refer to when they are feeling low in their life or when they don't know what to do. This is that kind of motivation that's always going to keep you running. Thank you so much for adding so much value to the podcast, Miss Priyal. Well, Simran and I thought, why not have some fun with you? I know rapid fire rounds are not that fun in recordings as they are in person. I promise you, the next time we meet, we are going to record a better one. But for now, let's just record a small rapid fire. I'll be asking you 4 questions in one audio, and you're gonna respond to me all the 4 questions within a minute. That's the rapid fire that we are gonna play, with a little twist added by the team Seedhi Baat. 1. If there was one word in which you could define your entire life and your personality, what would that word be? Question number 2. What you might have done if your parents forced you to be either a doctor or an engineer. Question number 3. Tell something you have always wanted to try but are too afraid to do. And question number 4. Tell us the most memorable career moment so far. Here you go. I have so many questions to ask you, but because of time constraints, I've asked only 4. So you have to answer these 4 questions in 1 minute. Your time starts now.
I think one word that really defines me and my life till now would be the word crazy, because that's how it's been. There have been crazy twists and turns, but have more than happily embraced whatever has come my way, so I have no complaints. If I were to choose between becoming a doctor or an engineer, I would definitely choose to become a doctor. Third, the one thing I really want to try out in life that I haven't tried till now is probably bungee jumping, because I love adventure sports, but at the same time, I have a fear for heights. So that's one barrier I really want to break. Last but not the least, that one moment of my life that I'll really cherish and remember forever was the day I got selected for the World Championships. So, the World Championships is the second biggest sporting event that happens after the Olympics. It's a once in a 4 year ordeal. And when I got selected for it back in 2014, I knew this was one of my do or die chances to make it or break it, because probably the next World Championships I would be busy studying for my chartered accountancy. So, yes, that day in my life I will never forget.
I am so in love with this rapid fire round and her answers. She's absolutely slaying in the round that I really want to do some cheating here. I'm really sorry for that, guys, but I'll be adding 2 more questions in the rapid fire round itself. And Priyal, you're supposed to answer them in the next 30 seconds. So here's shooting 2 questions for you. Question number 5. One thing you still have from your childhood. You have to tell us that thing. And question number 6. Your favorite city in India or a general country or a destination in the world. So answer these 2 questions in the next 30 seconds. We are waiting for your answers.
Funnily, the one thing that I have preserved from my childhood is a Mickey Mouse keychain. I carried that keychain on my first day to the shooting range, and I literally still use that even today. To name my favorite city in India, it is Trivandrum. I first went there for the National Games in 2015, and I fell in love with the city, the beaches, the food, the people, everything. And every time I have to go and compete there, I absolutely love it.
Thank you so much for such wonderful answers. And you have proved that you're a shooter. All your answers were on point, and you have completed the challenge in less than 1.5 minutes. Congratulations.
Well, after listening to your answers, my mind is like reload, aim, and shoot.
Well, Simmer, this was a good way of promoting our poster. Nice. Coming to the end of this podcast, I would like to know from you, Priyal, if there was one piece of advice that you had to give to the youth of this world, what would that be?
So I think one piece of advice I'd like to give is just be true to yourself and just go after your dreams. There's no substitute for hard work, and these years of your life, they're not going to come back. So just get out there and do whatever it takes. If you're really passionate about sports, go ahead and build a career in it. There is light at the end of a tunnel. So do not be disheartened or discouraged by what others say or the criticism you face from the society. And of course, if you guys need any kind of help, I'm always around as a mentor.
It was such a wonderful conversation with you, Miss Priyal. I wish that this never ended, but we have to take care of time because discipline is one of the qualities that we have learned from you today. It's time for me to wrap up today's session, but I am thankful to you for sparing your precious time, sharing your valuable experiences and insights on sports as a career and being a sportswoman. Thank you so much for making our country proud, and we are truly obliged by your presence in our podcast. I also want to thank my co moderator, Miss Simmer. She has done a great job supporting me in this podcast, and it wasn't possible without you, Simmer. Thanks to all our listeners for showering the love and support on us. I really hope that you're getting some life goals and lessons from Miss Priyal Kenny and all the other youth leaders who are featuring in Seedhi Baat. Let me leave you with the question today. What price are you willing to pay for the goals you set today? What rules are you willing to break to be the one who makes a change? Think about it. Until we see you in the next episode of Seedhi Baat, this is your host Lovepreet Kaur signing off. Bye bye.